Hey, what's up, Lightbolt Joe here. Today we are going to discuss the 2022 horror suspense thriller film, action film, The Black Phone. So this stars Ethan Hawke, James Renzone, I think is his name. Blumhouse is the production company that made this film, right? So Jason Blum has he always casts James in a lot of different films. He was in the first two. He was in Sinister 1, Sinister 2, which are Blumhouse films. He's in Black Phone. But we also know and love him from It Chapter 2. He plays the older Eddie. So he's great at horror, suspense kind of stuff. He plays an idiot in this film, but he's Ethan Hawke's idiot, as he said. And by idiot, it's really a drug addict who's trying to solve this missing kids case. So this is set in Denver, 1978. Ethan Hawke plays a character who's known as the Grabber, has kidnapped 5 kids and counting, 5 teenage boys and counting. Bodies haven't been recovered. This film is based on a short story, which was loosely based on a real life case which happened. Paper boy went out to deliver papers with his dog. The dog was eventually found, but the kid was never found. And it's still a missing persons case, I believe, to this day, from what I just read. So, to have that as the true life inspiration, leading to the short story, which then was inspired into the film, it's very interesting, the chain of events, how inspiration of a tragedy can turn into a film. This is a very rare film because it has a happy ending, and it has a contemptuous, satisfactory type of ending where I don't need all the answers. I don't need to know why he's doing this. I don't need to know why he started. I don't need to know that. The ending of fighting and survival and facing, your demons and coming about. We're spoilers throughout as most of these conversations go. So the main kid, Finn, who everybody calls Finny, which is interesting because I'm used to Finn as Finnegan, Finn. We all know and love Finn the human from, Adventure Time. Finn the human, Jake the dog, 2 best brothers off to fight the day. I have his sword somewhere over there. Love Adventure Time. So I've never heard Finny before, so that was neat. That was different. His sister Gwen, they live with their alcoholic, abusive father. So that was hard to watch within the domestic violence aspect of children. But it's a timepiece, so that's what you did in the 70s. It's gross. It's gross to say it, but that's the point. This is a conversation piece. It's a very indie type of film, but it had that big production kind of aspect to it, which gave you those blockbuster feels. Would have been so much better to see it with an audience in the scenes. There's like one jump scare within a ghost, but otherwise, seeing it and processing all of it, so well done. My favorite camera shot was portrayed the zoom out and in at the same time when Gwen's getting her vision. So younger sister Gwen has the gift, and she can see things. Her father references it as the gift. This is why I'm stating it that way. And her dreams come true, and it's frustrating, and she doesn't understand why. And she has these feelings that these kids that they go to school with, this middle school that they go to, the kids in the area that are gone missing, she doesn't think that they're going to be found, how everybody hopes that they're going to be found. So then once their friend Robin is missing, then things get real, and then Finn's taken by the Grabber. So he's got his mask on, he's got his top hat, he's got the magician, I'm a magician kind of a thing. You want to see a magic trick? Throws the kids in the back of the van with the black balloons, and so takes them to his house, throws them in the basement, and what happens next, right? So it's very interesting because this Grabber character, it wants to play this game called Naughty Boy. So if the boys try to escape, then he gets to beat them, and then eventually leads to their being killed and then buried. Which was interesting how that turned into not buried within the property, buried in a different property. Very cool how that all came together. And so it's a matter of what's the black phone, right? Why is there a black phone in the basement? Why is it ringing? And why are there the ghosts of the victims talking to Finn on the other side? But they're in the same room. So to have the kid actor, alongside the murdered kid ghost actor, But to have them speaking not in a vocal tone like I'm saying, but in a vocal tone as if you would hear it over the phone, it's just so cool. It's just such, it's so different. It's so immersive. It's so different. And having them help him figure out a way to escape, but also having them help him figure out a way to entrap the grabber to finally end this nightmare for everyone, and that Finn is going to be their hands, and Finn's going to be the one that kills the grabber finally. And that whole end scene of the entrapment to get him stuck, to take the cord of the phone to strangle him and crack his neck and then escape. And it turns out the house was across the street from the other house that the sister kept having dreams about. And the ghosts stopping her in the street, when she gets to the house, 7741 was the address. It was all these things coming together, all her dreams coming together and focaling there, and then the police believing her and going and then finding, and then the chief of police saying, the nightmare's finally come to an end, and then Finn goes back to school, and then everybody knows his name now, and it's really great. There was what was the other? There was only like one other horror film I said which was a rarity because it had a happy ending, and this is another comparison to it because it had a happy ending because the survivor prevailed. The survivor defeated the enemy, and it wasn't a victim story, it was a survivor story. So it's a different type of horror film, and it was different, and I loved it, especially within that ghost aspect, especially within that psychic clairvoyant aspect, all coming together so beautifully. Very well done. The film, Jacob Tremblay was in it. Before I Wake, his dreams come to life. That was a beautiful horror film, again with a happy ending. It's rare. It's very rare to find a horror film. It's very rare to see a horror film. Not find it. I don't actively look for them, but I'm trying to think now what other horror films, because this is horror. This is suspense. This is terror. This is gore. What other horror films have a happy ending? I don't know. I got to think about that. But this very much surprised me. This came out June 22. I know it was pushed back a couple times because of COVID and the pandemic and shutting theaters down and stuff, but when this launched this past summer, I know it was big within the influencers. All the influencers were invited to the premiere, so one of these days I'll get there. It was fun. It's fun to see it. Of course, I'm building Legos as I watch, but very different, very unique, and I understand now why everybody kept raving about it. It was so well done, and Ethan Hawke does a great job as this grabber character, disturbing character, but still does a great job in that menacing kind of aspect. So, and the kid who plays Finn, I don't know his name, but he did a great job. Great job. Very, very convincing, very talented actor. Can't wait to see what he does next. And I need to know his name because he's gonna be big. I'm calling it now. He's gonna be big. His talent now at such a young age is incredible. I can't wait to see what he does next. On to the next review. Mucho mahalo.